Welcome to the Draft Professor and the summary of the 2026 NFL Draft. I am joined by Anthony Russo, and I'm joined by Marcus. Guys, it's good to see you. I know, Marcus, it's been a few weeks. How are things for Raider fans right now?
Oh, yeah, Raider fans are pretty excited about the draft. I mean, I think after yesterday, I mean, there is some, some ups and downs with Raiders Nation, but I think after today with Landon McCoy and Washington and those type of high caliber players and getting some real good value at the end of the draft, I think Raiders fans are really excited about it.
Yep. And then I think obviously Fernando Mendoza is the star of the Raiders draft, but getting Jermod McCoy in round 4, that tells me that NFL teams don't want to pay him a guaranteed salary.
Yeah.
Like the injury is scaring them enough. They don't want to pay a guaranteed salary. But Marcus, how do you feel? Because the Raiders even traded up to get Jermod McCoy in round 4.
I really like that pick, because it's, it all depends on how the Raiders feel. Like, do they feel like he needs the surgery on that knee? That's going to be a decision for them. But, like, the reason why it's still a good pick, because you have, like, Eric Stokes and you have those guys that are already in there. They're already in the building. They have some starting corners. They drafted Darren Porter last year, who had some, pretty good moments. So I think if you have to go that route and he has to sit out the whole season, you still have kind of like a guy and come back next year and make some plays for you.
And then Anthony, the New York Jets. How do you feel about their draft?
Overall, I actually feel really good. And when pick 110 was made and it was a trade up for Cade Klubnik, I did not think I'd feel that way. But overall, this was a really, really solid group of players. A lot of immediate impact guys. Round 1, obviously, like Bailey, Sadiq, and Cooper are all immediately going to be, meaningful pieces for the future of the team. Pons in the second round is great. I like Darrell Jackson, Inez Cooper, and VJ Payne were 2 my guys, so getting them late on day 3 is awesome. Klubnik is really the only pick that I just kind of hate. But overall, yeah, I'm happier with this draft than I was with Muji's draft last year. So I'm good.
So I want to have a minute to give my response to Bills Mafia. Okay. So I think the average Bills media person is an idiot.
Okay.
I'm just going to come right out and say it. So generally speaking, Bills media hated Buffalo's draft. They hated it. They loved it on day 1 when we didn't make a pick. Then as soon as they saw who the picks were on day 2, they disliked it. There were more picks early on day 3 that they disliked. So let me try to explain. So if we were talking about TJ Parker 12 months ago, he was going to be going in the top 10 of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When we were coming out of the summer, Anthony, he was going in the top 10 of most mocks, right? I mean, People were projecting TJ Parker to be one of the best players in the class. Buffalo got him in round 2. I love that pick. You're drafting a good player. Forget about like what's his path to the playing field, because that was like the argument. Like, is he going to play immediately? Is he a 3-4 outside linebacker or a 4-3 end? Right? There was a lot, and some of that even happened on the podcast. So I love it. Buffalo in the playoff game lost because Dane Jackson played 1 snap and he gave up a touchdown and it cost Buffalo the game. So you have to draft Davison Igbinosun, the corner from Ohio State, because we have no cornerback depth.
Yeah.
Right? So I love that pick. Like, I'm like sitting here loving it. Bills fans hated those first 2 picks. Hated. Okay. Jude Bowery at the top of round 4. Hated it. But one of the problems, Deion Dawkins had his worst season of his career last year. So if he's on the downward spiral of his career, you need a left tackle. Mm-hmm. Right? And then, I mean, I love the rest of the draft after that, like, getting Skylar Bell, Caleb Elam-Zor, Jalen Kilgore, Zane Durant, Toriano Pride, Armaj Reed Adams, and a punter who shall remain nameless. I absolutely love Buffalo's draft. But But there's going to be so much more on this channel on the Bills draft, because I think we're doing a show on that on Tuesday. When you guys look at the draft as a whole, this is kind of a summary show for every team's draft.
Mm-hmm.
Does anything stand out to you, Marcus, about any draft that you saw around the league?
I mean, one thing that stood out to me overall in the draft, I mean, not to any like certain teams, was just the blocking tight ends going so early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought that was interesting as hell. Like is it Borkircher from Texas A&M?
Borkircher,
yeah, Borkircher, yeah. I mean, he went in the second round, right? I mean, how many passes has he caught, you know, to go that high in front of Max Clare, like who also is kind of a blocking tight end for Ohio State, but he at least when Tate and Jeremiah Smith weren't playing, at least got some throws his way, you know, and then seeing even Will Kazmarek, who was behind Max Clare, going in the third round was crazy, so that really stood out to me a lot, in my opinion. That was really crazy. But like overall, I thought the Giants had a pretty good draft. I thought they did a good job of getting players that they really liked, especially in the first 3 rounds. Getting Mauigoa, and Alvaro Reese, and then getting Colton Hood. I really thought they had a pretty good draft. So I mean, that really stood out to me. I think Philly is one of those other interesting ones too, with their draft. But getting Mekhi Lemon, which I think people are kind of like, okay, where's AJ Brown go? I don't think it has anything to do with AJ Brown. I just think they need a slot guy, because they have 2 guys that play outside, and you can move around Devontae Smith. But Lemon is a slot, and I think a lot of people want him to be an outside guy, but I think Hyatt Roseman's just a little smarter there. So I really did end up liking that pick. And then, another one was Tampa Bay. I thought Tampa Bay had a really good draft. I thought they had a good job of getting a lot of value, right? I think a lot of the players, like even down to, the guard, really, is it Schroth? Am I saying that wrong? Right? I think.
Schrouth.
Yeah, Schrouth. Yeah, Schrouth. DeMonte Capehart, Keontae Scott, Ted Hurst, Josiah Trotter, and then getting Ruben Bain in the first round. I thought they had a really good draft too. So those are a couple teams that stood out to me.
Anthony, how about you? Any teams have drafts that stand out to you?
Yeah. Well, I'll say first, I also love Tampa Bay's draft. I mean, they got my number 1 player at 15, so that was kind of an easy way to do that. But Trotter, Hurst, great day 2 picks. I don't know how Keontae Scott got to day 3. I know people were trying to tell me that the dude can't cover, and so that's why he fell. But like, he was everybody and their mother had him as a top 50 to 75 player. And that was before he ran a 4.3 at the combine. So I just was very confused as to how all of a sudden he fell to day 3, but good on Tampa getting him. And Capehart and Schrouth, also some nice day 3 picks as well. I am just so the 2 smartest coaches in the NFL for me are Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. And I thought both of their teams' drafts were the most questionable. And I guess I'm kind of acting like a jerk if I'm going to question the two most well-run organizations, arguably, in the NFL, or at least like 2 of the top 5. But like, I mean, the Ty Simpson thing, whatever. But like, the Rams taking Max Clare with their 2nd round pick, when they just took Terrence Ferguson last year with their 2nd round pick. Then they get Keegan Trost, who I was not a big fan of. And even if you liked him, he's kicking inside to guard when they need to replace Havenstein at tackle. Daniels and Keenan, I guess, are fine as like late day 3 dart throw kind of picks, whatever. But the Rams draft was weird. And then San Fran, I know that DeJon Stribling's hype train has been building now for like weeks. And like, he had a great combine, whatever, but 33, the first day 2 pick, and then wide receiver taken over Denzel Boston and Ted Hurst, who we just talked about, and other like Chris Brazzell and all these other Jeremy Bernard, like all these other guys. Like you're telling me Dejon Stribling was the guy. Couldn't be me, but okay. Kalen Black, what? When was Kalen Black a 3rd round pick? When did that ever manifest itself?
Anthony, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about Kalen Black being a 3rd.
Oh, he went in the 3rd round last night.
No, I know. We're going over like just drafts in general, but like I'm just so the 3rd round. I almost like actually had like a stroke during the 3rd round. Like Xavier Thomas, what?
No. Listen, there's way worse to me. Nate Borkature in the 2nd round was crazy work.
I love Borkature, but I agree taking him at 56 was a tad.
But
if you just want a blocking tight end, why don't you get Kazmarek, who did go in like the 3rd, but like
and Marcus was just saying how like all these blocking tight ends went. Like I have been banging the table for Sam Roush and Borkature for like a while now as like underrated tight ends.
So it's your damn fault. It's your fault.
I guess it is. Maybe actually GMs do listen to me and they shouldn't. But no, I was baffled like with all the tight ends that went on day 2. Like they even like I was never the biggest Stowers guy, which I guess is like the opposite of why Borkature and all them went. Like he's not a blocking tight end in any way. But like all these other, like other than Max Clare, there was no tight end that went on day 2 that I was like, yeah, you were supposed to go on day 2. This is correct. Like, so I don't know, man.
So does anybody look at Jacksonville's draft, especially the early picks, and think they had a different big board than the rest of us?
Right, I think so.
Yeah.
What are the picks? Like, that's one thing. I can pull it up, but Jim, if you can pull up some of these drafts as we talk about some of these teams.
Sure. So Borkature at 56th overall, Albert Regis at 81st overall. Bregnon at 88 felt normal. Husky at 100 felt normal. Wesley Williams at 119.
No.
Koziel at 164. Josh Cameron at 191. And I mean, I'm not going to fault anybody for the round 5 through 7 picks if those guys were there. But it just felt like, I don't know that I had seen anybody picking Wesley Williams early day 3.
No,
I don't have any problem with Wesley Williams' pick. I ain't gonna lie. Like, the more I watched him, the more I liked him. 21 years old, like a dog against the run, and he's got some pass rush moves. So I ain't even mad about the Wesley Williams, but they lost me with Borkature.
I will just say I've never met James Gladstone. Seems like a very smart man. I'm sure he deserves the GM title. But it does this draft kind of feels like he was trying to get a little too cute. And like
I'm smarter than everybody. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Let's be real about it.
That's exactly the vibe that this draft gave me. Like, what are we doing? Like, Nate Borkature, again, love him, and Albert Regis should not be your first 2 picks in this draft. I'm sorry. Like, what?
I really didn't like Regis's tape. Like, and I was happy that Onyedem went ahead of him because I was like, dude, why are we not talking about this guy for a long time? So I felt vindicated that he went.
So, Marcus, how do you feel about the drafts of the other teams in the AFC West? Like, how do you think the Raiders did relative to the Chiefs, to the Broncos, and and the Chargers? There we go. I had to think about who the other team was.
Yeah, I thought the Chiefs did pretty damn well, which kind of pissed me off, but it is what it is.
I fucking hate them too, brother.
Yeah,
I fucking hate them.
Yeah, so it kind of pissed me off with what they did. Getting Delane, which that was interesting, them trading up for Delane, and just kind of stacking on this defense. I think the R. Mason Thomas one is the one that kind of pissed me off the most. I mean, Peter Woods is also a big one for them, but then getting Jaden Kennedy too in the 4th round, looks like right here. So yeah, they had a damn good draft. I was pretty upset about that one, but I mean, the Chiefs really are stacking the defense, and they're saying, Mahomes, just you go do it by yourself. That's what really I'm getting at it, because when you're waiting this long to get some good wide receivers for him, because they had a choice. I mean, when I thought they traded up, I thought it was Jordan Tyson, which was going to scare me to death. But I was, I felt good when they took Delane, but then when they started sacking up some of these defensive players, you kind of see what they're trying to do, right? They're still trying to have that Mahomes game managed shit and then like kind of play great defense on the other side, which is an interesting way to go. I don't know about that, but that's weird there. I thought the Chargers taking Messidor was interesting because, they do have Khalil Mack, right? But also, Messidor being an older player, you feel like they maybe would go younger there just because you want to replace and then by the time if he works out and he's kind of, at the older age, that's just was a weird fit. But, I like Jake Slaughter in the second round, even though I thought it was a little rich for me there. But that, that's fine. And then Brendan Thompson, that was a great pick. I thought that was one of the best ones. And then Travis Burke and then Genesis Smith, I really like those. And then Nick Barrett, good player too. So, I really like what they did a little bit, not as much as the Chiefs. And then the Broncos, let me just check out what the hell the Broncos do. I mean, the Broncos really didn't, catch me really that much. I mean, Jonah Coleman, I guess. I mean, that's a pretty good one. Taking Tyler Oyedem.
I need him, man. I love him.
Yeah, it's a pretty good pick there. Cage Casey's a good fit for them too, as well. Now, their draft isn't just that. It isn't that like something that kind of just stands out at you. That they only had starting the third round pick, so it's kind of that type of draft where you kind of let the board kind of fall to you a little bit with what they were doing. They didn't get aggressive and trade up that much. So I think with Jonah Coleman, I feel like is the best one. But out of that group, I feel like it was definitely the Chiefs had the best draft.
Well, Jim, do you mind? I hate to take your show over, but this is how I roll.
Oh.
Do you mind if we go team by team a little bit?
Oh, we can definitely go team by team. I know that Anthony and Marcus have a hard stop. So if we can do like 1 minute per team, we might be able to get them all.
Oh, shit.
In.
I can't do that. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but Dale, what did you think of the other teams in the AFC North? So like Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Baltimore. Are you worried about them catching Cincinnati?
I mean, they all went O-line in the first, but let's start off with Baltimore. And I'm going to share my screen. Well, I don't even have to share it. So I'll start with Vega. Like, Vega was the chalkiest pick. I don't know about you guys, but like that, I kept mocking him at 14.
Mm-hmm.
Zion Young.
I actually got that one wrong on my huddle report contest.
What the hell are you doing, Jen?
Apparently a different player dropped, and I'm like, they're more likely to take that player. But yeah, apparently, what do I know? But yeah,
I'm looking at Baltimore, like Zion Young. Dude, he was in the 70s for me, so he went 45. I was just happy the Bengals took Cassius Howe instead of him. Like, because their normal profile was him. Jacoby Lane, I like Jacoby Lane. I know everybody was out on him, but he was still about 20 picks earlier than I wanted. I think Surratt might be better than Lane that they got in the fourth. Hibner's low-key really good from SMU. Chandler Rivers disgusted me that they got him. They got Cuevas from Alabama. They got Randall. I really like, dude, Randall with Derrick Henry is nasty. Ryan Eckley, punters. Sorry, punters. I don't give a fuck about you. Rayshon Benny and then Evan Beardstein. So to me, whatever on that one.
Well, I know that the Pittsburgh draft professors hated Pittsburgh's draft. Sam Teets hated it.
Okay.
Will hated it. Do any of us like Pittsburgh's draft?
I love Maxi Hanachor and Jeremy Bernard is cool.
But dude, how can you like?
I actually like it. I like Pittsburgh's draft. I'm looking at the players.
Yeah.
How can they like Ian Notcher when they were on the phone with Mekhi Lemon?
Well, they like him. They just didn't like him as much as Mekhi Lemon. But
exactly.
They still like him. They like him enough to panic pick him at 21.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I think get Bernard and they traded up to get him was a good move for Pittsburgh. Drew Aller, how are we feeling about that one? Talking about Pittsburgh.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Aller is just a big waste, of size to me.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just a waste at this
He
point.
has a big arm, but dude also throws fucking incomplete passes on flat routes. So like, I just can't. I can't do it.
And he doesn't throw downfield with the big arm either. He never has. It's just it's annoying, to be honest. And then you're like, is it James Franklin? It's like, I don't know. Come on, man. Just be aggressive, dog. It's college football. You know what I mean? Like, just throw the bad ball downfield. So
I think their third round picks of Everett and Dunker was good picks.
I thought Wetjen, like, do you draft a kick returner in round 4?
No,
that was a reach.
Dude, he's that good though. Like,
No,
honestly, I get it. I see the vision.
I like Wetjen. I have no problem with Wetjen as a player. I just don't think you take any kick returner as a if you're taking Wetjen there, you're telling me that you want him to be like a slot receiver for you, which is fine. But
he showed that at the Shrine Bowl, right? Like there's some upside to him.
I just think he didn't. If the goal was to get a slot receiver, I don't think Hayden Wetjen was the guy on the board at that point that I would have gone for. And so then I'm assuming like Deion Burke's not going till 7th round. What are we doing? What happened?
Mind blowing to me.
Did he stab someone that we just don't know about?
Well, I want to talk about this because I talked about it on my show for the Bengals specifically. And Colby Young, man, that one disgusts me. It disgusts me from his charges for what he did, like hitting his pregnant girlfriend or whatever. Like, I don't fuck with that. That's my team, and I like that pick disgusts me as a human being.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of off-field concerns in this class with a few players. Like, I know like people were like very high on Xavier Harris from Ole Miss. He's got a very concerning record. What was the other one? Josh Moten, the corner from Southern Miss. I know
Eric McAllister, the receiver from TCU.
Yep. Right.
Yes. Seth McGowan.
Seth McGowan, who I think did get
Seth McGowan did get drafted. It was round 6 or 7, but he did get drafted.
I know McGowan's kind of like, I'm not going to say like all is forgiven, but he's at least kind of like worked his way back, it seems like, from what happened with that. But yeah, the off-field stuff is always like, I just can't, it's tough to really know what teams think of it and how serious it actually is. Like, and I don't mean like, the charges themselves aren't serious. I just mean like, where is this person at in their life, and how have they evolved, and how have they moved forward in any way, or are they still a piece of shit?
Well, if I was talking about it strictly for the Bengals as a team, I don't understand adding an outside receiver instead of a slot guy. And they had one in Cincinnati alone with Cyrus Allen and T. Brookie. I shared this to my stream. He says, "Okay, Dell, presumption of innocence. Might want to look it up. Presumption of innocence. You don't get 12 months of probation. Like, get the fuck out of here with that, man. I don't fuck with that." Sorry.
No, and the NFL it's a PR business. They don't want negative PR, so they're not going to draft. They're learning. Like when the whole Matt Ariza thing happened, and he was a punter, but like Buffalo had a meltdown when they found out what their punter did at a frat party, and then it turned out it was just accusations, or at least it went away. But like the league doesn't want that PR. The teams don't want the negative PR. So even if it's you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent, there is a aspect of PR that's like that. You have to be smart enough then when you're 18 and 19 years old to keep yourself out of trouble. And that may be difficult, but you have to figure out how, because the league doesn't want to touch it.
But if I'm strictly talking as a player, I wouldn't have taken Colby Young there.
No.
Without the off-field stuff.
So I was surprised that it wasn't a slot receiver. Between you and Ryan Sparks, you had me conditioned that the Bengals, if they drafted a receiver, it would be a player that played the slot.
Well, that's what they need, right? Like, they have Yosavash, and like he doesn't create a separation. It's like, dude, you got Kendrick Law on the board. You got Cyrus Allen on the board. Like, if you want some return value and somebody that can create separation. And I know I'm jumping on my Bengals. I'm sorry.
I agree with you. And I'm just, because now I just looked up the receivers that went after Colby Young. I mean, you have Cyrus Allen, Kevin Coleman, Barian Brown wasn't my favorite, but I think he fits more of that, slot guy.
And returnability.
And returnability, 100%. Malik Benson. I liked Lewis Bond from Boston College. So, like, you had these, and Deion Burks, obviously. Like, you had all these smaller, traditionally slot players that, I do think just would have made more sense just from a pure football standpoint.
But I love the Bengals draft in general. Like, I mean, Jim, you going to give us that? Like, I think we should all give our picks for our teams, and we'll start with you, Marcus. Sorry, Jim, I'm taking over.
We did some of that right before you came on.
Before I got on.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, I'll keep leaning into the Bengals content. I loved their day. I know we just sit here and chat on Colby Young for 10 minutes, but I loved their day 3. Connor Lew and Brian Parker for the interior is awesome in my opinion.
This is shit the Bengals never do. I'm looking at my BPAs. Brian Parker was 74 on my board when they took him. 74. Yep. Jack Indries was 99 on my board. My only 2 top 100 players, they got both of them. Connor Lew, another top 100 player that they traded down and got. And I was like, and then my guy that I was fortunate enough to interview in Landon Robinson.
Yeah.
I love our draft, but there's one glaring thing that I guess I'm trying to just advocate for. It's never okay to hit a woman. And I will never, when it comes to anybody in the NFL, I will talk shit about them that they do that. Oh, the Browns, you got Deshaun Watson and all that shit. I'd be a hypocrite to sit here and not say this about Colby Young. That's how I feel.
Yep.
No, that's fair.
Understand that.
So some undrafted free agents have rolled in, and there's a couple that actually stand out. Noah Whittington has signed with Houston. So the Oregon running back has signed with Houston.
Good player.
I think, because Houston needed a running back, and now I'm trying to remember, did Houston draft a running back?
I'm not sure.
I feel like
they did not.
Oh, they didn't. No, you're right. Yeah,
they did not. So Noah Whittington, running back from Oregon, I think he's got a shot to make that roster.
I think he's got a shot to potentially be RB2. What is that running back room at this point? It can't be that good. They signed Montgomery, right? But then after that, I don't think it's great.
And then
I'm looking it up.
Anthony Hankerson signed with Miami. He's the running back from Oregon State.
Yeah.
So again, I think there's a path for him there. Dylan Bell from Georgia signed with Minnesota. I like that one.
I would have taken him. I would have taken him over Colby Young.
Yep.
Yeah.
Colin Lacey signed with the Jets.
I saw that. That's all right. Whatever.
No, good, dude. His return ability. I know, 6-year guy, South Alabama,
and the injuries scared the injury history.
I get that, but UDFA. Come on now.
No, I mean that's fair. It's a UDFA. I can't really be upset with the UDFA signing, but he was. I think he was outside my 300. So I mean,
can I ask?
It's fine.
Can I ask you guys if these guys went like Max Luella and Demetrius Crownover, Mason Rager, Emil Wagner? Like those are some of the top players on the board.
I didn't see Wagner go.
And I think I saw Rager signed. Hold on, who did he just? He just signed with somebody.
Wagner may have. Maybe I missed.
Wagner, I don't
may
know.
have been a round 7 pick at the time that Anthony joined my other stream, and I missed it. But all the other guys that you listed, Dale, got drafted.
Dolphins signed Rager as a UDFA.
Interesting.
I think the Dolphins had a decent draft, but obviously they needed to have a decent draft, right? Like they burnt that entire roster.
I don't know that I was Miami. I think I counted. They made 13 draft picks.
Yeah.
I questioned a few of them, and I was like, not enough picks in the trenches. Is what that was like. I was looking at Miami's. Hey, it's great that you drafted 2 or 3 wide receivers. It's great that you drafted, but I think Miami only drafted 1 corner. So with the number of corner problems that Miami was going into the draft with, only drafting Chris Johnson and you're done.
Yeah,
Like, is Storm Duck still starting for Miami?
Maybe they really like Storm Duck.
Yeah, man, that's the duo. That's all you need.
That Storm Duck is rolling, baby.
Maybe they love Storm Duck, you know?
Torian York. Did Torian York go? I know undersized.
No.
I didn't see him go.
Okay.
No, I don't think he
I would. Oh, Torian York, please sign with Buffalo.
Sign with the Jets.
Hey, come on now. You took. I got really pissed at Buffalo for a while, Jim, on my stream.
Oh, that's okay. What did
Caleb,
we do that pissed
that
the
means you
Bengals
did
off?
good stuff.
I'm here for that.
Caleb Elam's Orr.
Love him.
Oh, I was like, I said, oh, I was pissed because I'm like, that means it's a good pick.
Him and Skylar Bell back to back actually hurt me a little bit.
It hurt me too.
As a Jets fan, I have to now see them
that
twice
makes me
a year.
feel good. If I can hurt a Bengals fan and a Jets fan by my team making a specific pick, I am here to make that pick.
Oh, go fuck yourself, Jim.
Bills fans hated that pick. You're right though, Jim, because my brother, he's a Bills fan. He did not like that. He didn't like it at all.
And I don't know why.
Because they didn't take a wide receiver. They wanted a wide receiver.
We got Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell is an awesome.
Skylar Bell was a phenomenal
I know, but at the moment when you're in round 2, that's what they all wanted. You know what I mean?
No. I get that, but like I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest. Like I wasn't the biggest Igbenogson guy, so like I could understand not loving that pick as much. But yeah, man. TJ Parker, good player. Jude Bowery at like day 3 is a fine addition at left tackle. Bell, Elam's Orr,
I love
Kilgore, Durant. Like these are all like you see a vision with them.
The most conspicuous absence from Buffalo's draft was we didn't draft a 1 tech. So Buffalo needs a nose tackle, and we didn't draft one. So there's clearly one on the free agent wire that Buffalo's basically saying, well, if we didn't get certain guys, we're just going to go to the free agent.
Is that Corleone?
No, like there must be a veteran.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a veteran that hasn't signed somewhere, and I bet he's coming to Buffalo. Because we were talking about him, but basically at this point, any free agent you sign doesn't offset comp picks, and Buffalo is getting some comp picks for some free agents that left. So that was really the biggest surprise with me with Buffalo. But like, I love Buffalo's draft, but I can tell you, like Dale, we were talking about that right before you came on. Bills media dislikes the draft to the point where like they're calling out, like Owen was getting into it with Bills radio people. It's hysterical.
Trying to fight people. We got Owen
but Owen was telling me about it.
It's wild.
It is. But I also know that like Marcus, you've got another show that you're about to do. So why don't we kind of go around? Marcus, tell everybody about your podcast, where your draft summary is going to be, and I know that you got to bounce.
Yeah, Tape Don't Lie is my show. Definitely check that out. You know, we got over about 70 prospects we did breakdowns on, videos on. So whoever you drafted, we probably did a video on it. So go check that out. I mean, there's just definitely, day 3 guys to day 1 to, from Cole Payton, whole bunch of guys that we did a bunch of draft breakdowns on. If you're a Chiefs fan, we got an interview with Emmett Johnson. That's pretty dope. So you check it out, watch him do that. So same thing with Caleb Douglas, who I thought way higher than I thought he was. But if you're a Dolphins fan, I got Caleb Douglas on there doing some breakdowns too. So go check all that information out, man. There's a whole bunch of draft content that me and my partner Matt went over as well. And then check me out on Twitter at the Mark John NFL, of course. And then see me. I be posting draft content, especially we're doing some more quarterback stuff this summer, which I'm excited about because I just like watching quarterbacks. So I'm be doing
so Marcus will be podcasting on Draft Professors every Thursday, breaking down 4 quarterbacks for the 2027 and 2028 draft classes. He'll be joined by EJ and Jordan. Marcus, this has been an awesome ride this draft cycle. I am thrilled to have you involved with Draft Professors. It's awesome. We actually got you on a show with Dale. I don't know if the two of you have met each other, but I
No,
can
I've never
make
met
each other laugh. But
Yeah.
Dale, you need to get Marcus on your show.
Oh, I'd love to have him on. Like, let's do it.
I'm always open, man. I'm always open.
Cool. So Anthony, you want to let the fine people know what you're doing with any other draft podcasts and draft content right now?
Yeah, I should be. I'm gonna obviously be doing summer scouting with draft professors. I'm already 60 something players deep now for 2027. So the grind never stops. So you can follow me on X at Anthony_Russo97. All things draft. I'll be breaking down my thoughts on this year's draft, and as I said, diving into 27. You can find my Substack on my X page and my bio. Would be grateful if you subscribe to that for more draft and football content. And I will be here once a week talking NFL draft because it's always draft season. It always is.
It's always draft season,
It's
baby.
always draft season. It's draft professors. Draft season is 12 months a year.
Especially when you're a Jets fan and there's no such thing as Super Bowl. So,
I can relate with that.
Yeah, man, it's a rough life, but we live it anyway. So
exactly.
Good. And Dale, you're gonna let everybody know what kind of draft content you have coming your way in your channel here the next few days.
Yeah, find me, don't find me. I don't give a shit. Bengals and Brews, baby. Let's roll. Cincy Jungle. Yeah, I mean, most people know me or they don't, you know. And if you don't know me, you should, because I'm the fucking man. I wake up and I piss excellence.
And I will echo that. I've never woken up next to Dale, but the rest of that, like Dale, I appreciate all the support you have given Draft Professors. You were, if people don't know this, Dale was the first guest the Draft Professors ever had other than the regular podcasters.
Oh, wow.
And the moment Dale podcasted with us, all analytics like tripled. I don't know. So
I'm a big fucking deal, dude.
You are
a big fucking deal. Yep. Like I said, I wake up, I piss excellence. That's what I do.
Well, I want to let everybody know that Draft Professor has one more summary show. We're going to be doing a summary show tomorrow morning. So Jack Brentnall and Tyler Hill will be going through their best pick and worst pick in every round. And I don't know how they're going to choose the worst round 7 pick. But Jack, with his English sense of humor, is going to find a way. So that's tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. And then starting a week from Monday.
Well, can I say this, Jim? Can I just say USA, USA, USA? Oh,
that might be the wrong sport. I don't know. Do we have like a Team USA football team?
No, I don't get it. Well, I know we have a paraplegic hockey team. I found that out last night from my guy, Kevin.
Got it.
So I'm like, dude, I really want some paraplegic hockey now.
Yep. So we're gonna have one more summary show. We're diving into the 2027 class 7 days, I guess 9 days from now. It'll be a week from Monday. So that'll be the first summer show. And I just want to thank everybody that has made this season of the draft a lot of fun. And one of the things that I love doing, I get to create the draft order in the simulator from now until the NFL regular season begins. Yeah, so I have a lot of fun when I decide who's picking in the top 10 next year.
Well, you can put the Bengals at 32. We're winning that Super Bowl. I swear to God, dude, you guys will never see me again if we win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know that the internet could handle that.
If the Jets win the Super Bowl, I'm pretty convinced that the world's ending. So I would recommend
I'm just talking about physically, like the amount of sperm on my screen would be out of control with the Bengals won.
We don't need to talk about that right now.
All right.
But for Marcus, Anthony, myself, Dale, it's been a lot of fun. We've had a 7-hour draft podcast followed by a 40-minute summary. Marcus has another show. Anthony's got to run. Thanks everybody for putting this together. chat. You guys were awesome. We will see you on a podcast again tomorrow morning. Enjoy your Saturday night. Thank you, everybody.
Who dey?